End of the 1980s. Remember, I'm from Philly. I've seen a lot of great sports. I've participated in a lot of great sports. I've seen great rivalries, more professional than college up in the Philadelphia area. But there I am, 20 years old at my first ACC tournament, or my second one maybe, and it's Duke Carolina playing for the title at the end of the 1980s. And the intensity of that game with legend Dean Smith in front of one bench and legend Mike Krzyzewski in front of the other, and all American players on the court, and the stands by that point at the ACC tournament are just filled with either royal blue or that Carolina shade of blue. And the referees know how important the game is, and the TV people know how important the game is. It was insane, man. Even though I had been around sports my entire life, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I had already seen a game in Cameron during the regular season. I had already seen them play in the Smith Center during the regular season. I actually knew, unlike most of the last 25 years, where the players are way more often friendly, even as fans sometimes hate each other, Duke and Carolina players over the years are way more frequently friends off the court and go to the same barber and go to the same parties sometimes. At the end of the 80s, man, when I was 20 years old, those guys hated each other. They would have killed each other. They would have choked each other out. And I am barely exaggerating when I say that. I'm not saying every player hated every player, but it was far more back then what you saw among the fans. Whereas over time, just as Coach K and Dean Smith became friends later in Coach Smith's life, after literally sometimes pointing at each other and going nose to nose as competitors in a less pleasant kind of way. Man, books have been written about this rivalry. Seriously. My old buddy Art Chansky has written about it multiple times in fantastic fashion. It is unique. It is sensational. We could talk about the X's and O's of this Saturday's game, and two of the best front courts in all of college basketball. As Coach said, it's a rivalry game every year, but it's not a rivalry game every year where you have Duke's front court with not just Cameron Boozer, but Pat Gongba and Malik Brown off the bench are pretty darn good forwards. It's not just Caleb Wilson. Henry Vessar and Jaron Stevenson are pretty darn good big guys as well. To me, they're two of the best front courts in the entire country, along with being, of course, a part of this great historical rivalry. Which backcourt plays better is probably going to determine the outcome in Chapel Hill. But man, obviously, if you get me going on Duke Carolina, I can take you in a whole lot of different directions given what I've seen over almost 40 years now.